Welcome to Mike Ely's Big Deal Podcast. Thanks so much for joining us. Hey, man, but before we get started, man, we want to know where you're checking in from, what city, what state, what you came here to learn.
What country?
Yeah, drop it in the chat right now. Drop it in the chat.
Yep, type it in the chat.
And today we're going to talk about 5 ways to buy any real estate with no money down. So if you want to learn how to do these no money down techniques, and you talking about it's a scam, but listen, it is not, man. This is multiple ways of how I've acquired a lot of real estate, and I still use these techniques all the time. You know, scams to me is, I forgot.
All right. Well, while Mike is thinking about that,
Scared continuously about money. That's
scared continuously about money. All right. So while we're doing that, again, type it in the chat where you're from, and then Colby just read out like where our podcast attendees are coming from.
Looks like we got Northeastern Pennsylvania, Austin, Texas, Dexter, Atlanta, Tacoma, bunch.
All right, so let's jump right in, Mike. So here are the 5 ways to buy any real estate with no money down. And the goal for tonight is to open your mind, guys, to think creatively so you can do real estate deals without using your own money. Like the first 9 deals that I've done, it's not using my own money. Think about that, right? And Mike, still does this today, which is crazy.
That's right.
Because here's the thing. If all you know is buying real estate with 20% down, how long will it take you, for example, to buy a $2 million apartment building? That's probably a mere 20-unit building in a lot of cities, right? Now, if you only put 20% down, which right now in today's market is really more like 25% down, right? And then probably you need like about 5% in reserve. So really it's like closer to 30%. But let's just say you got good financing and all you need to put down is 20%. That's still 400,000. Now put it in the chat, Now, by the way, the chat is private, so only us can see it, right? Not everyone can see it, so this is totally fine. Put in the chat, how long will it take you to save 400,000? Okay, so some people in the chat are saying it will take them a year, which is awesome,
Ooh, that'd be good.
But somebody answered it will take them 10 years. Okay.
Oh, wow.
Okay. That's understandable.
That's still good too, but not so good, but that's good.
Right, but think about it. By the time 10 years is over, that $2 million apartment building will be worth $4 million. Now you can catch up, right? So, there got to be a better way. And here's the thing. If you know how to buy any real estate with no money down, you will finally buy your first apartment or hotel deal, right?
Absolutely.
So because now you don't need your own money.
That's right.
And you're not dependent on how much money you can save. See, you will finally have massive passive income, right? And think about it.
All through no money down techniques?
Yeah, at least it gets you started.
Okay, yeah.
Right? And let's say you're able to do it with a 100-unit apartment building.
Ooh,
you did it with no money down. I actually did a 133-unit apartment building.
Really?
And with 5,000 down. And I got the 5,000 back at
serious?
closing. Yeah. So, because, again, one of the techniques that we will discuss enabled me to do that. But 100 units times $100 per month per unit, that's 10,000 a month. How will 10,000 a month change your life right now? Totally passive. Month in, month out, day in, day out. You get sick, you make 10,000 a month. You go on vacation, you make 10,000 a month, right? You don't do anything, you make 10,000 a month. Okay. How will that change your life right now? How many of you, put in the chat, will quit your job right now?
Ooh, 10,000?
Yeah, I can see that lots of people are putting in quit my job right now. Oh, okay. So somebody answered, well, they need like 20,000. That's fine.
I think we need a little more. But
Right.
10,000 is a big change.
Yeah,
That's a big shift.
Right. With inflation nowadays, I think that the 20,000 a month is the new 10,000.
That's it. Yeah. There you go.
Right.
I remember 10,000.
Yeah.
Hey, the new million is 5 million.
Yep. So anyway, all right. So a lot of you will quit your job. Who here will retire your spouse right now? Honey, you've been working 30 years. It's time for you to retire. What?
Really?
Retire? Yes, because we can make an extra 10,000 a month, right? Who here will do that? Who here will finally buy your dream house, go on that dream vacation, or buy that dream car? Do you want to be like Mike who drives a Bentley? $250,000 car, right?
Yeah.
So, but that only happens, and Mike did that only when he has passive income coming in,
That's right.
right? You didn't do that.
I didn't go right away after I started
Exactly.
making money. I waited years.
Yep, exactly. But the point is, it's possible, right? I'm not a car person. I'm more into vacation, okay?
Mm-hmm.
But you know, if you're a car person, there's no limit now. Like Nate has how many cars?
You got too many
He
cars.
has too many cars, right? So he has like a Ferrari.
He's got Ferrari, Bentley,
Lamborghini. You know,
He's got $1 million worth of cars over there.
He's also got a Viper that you gave him, I believe.
Yes,
that's
he
true.
did.
That's true. I mean, can you imagine giving someone a Viper? Think about that, right? And it only happens again when you have passive income coming in. So now, these are the things you can do once you know how to buy any deal with no money down, right? Like for example, this deal that I did, okay, it's 36 units.
Where'd you do this at?
This in I don't want to tell you.
Okay.
Okay. You know, so but this is I just want to show you this in Avondale. Okay, fine.
Okay, that's
so
okay. I remember.
565,000 is our purchase price, you know, and what we did is we just took over the mortgage payment.
Yes.
And the seller's like, you know what?
Kind of like a subject too.
Yeah. Because the seller was quite motivated. You know, she's out of state. She's in California.
Mm-hmm.
You know, owning a property in the not so good part of town, right? So, but to make the long story short, we refinanced it 12 months later and got a new loan for 700,000. So she was happy, and then we end up owning this, right? But the point is, you can do big deals like this with no money down. It happens all the time, and guys, we will show you not just one, not just two, but you know, 4 or 5 different examples, like how Mike did it with no money down. So, but Mike, how come most real estate investors can't do deals with no money down?
Well, I mean, there's a couple of reasons why, man. There's 3 things that are holding real estate investors from buying deals with no money down. All right. One is the limiting belief. You realize people are held back because of the thought process of what they heard or what somebody thought about them. Like that's holding them back. That's what I call dead ends. All right. If you think you can, you're right. If you think you cannot, guess what? You're right. That was Henry Ford, but that's a saying everybody uses. You have to change that stinking thinking. If you continue to believe you can't do it, that's it. Because like in the middle of belief is a lie. And if you let those lies steer your life, then they'll control your destiny. All right. Your belief determines your reality. A lot of people are poor, not poor like what you think, like financially, no, but poor like passing over opportunities repeatedly. People always have an opportunity, but they pass over because of the limited belief. They're carrying over this baggage. They don't think they can do it. They believe it's impossible. But let me tell you something. Impossible is, people believe it's impossible until they see it's done. Mm-hmm. Right? And impossible, really the word impossible is I'm possible. And when we start believing like that, that's when we'll start breaking these barriers. And that's when you'll start doing deals that'll help excel you and change your life for the rest of your life. Look, we will talk about the fastest way to expand your belief and expand your reality at the end of this training. And if you leverage this, I promise you guys, you will get the big payday. All right.
Yeah. So stay until the end so that you can know what that is, right? It's very, very powerful. And it's actually simple. Everybody can do it, right? But stay until the end so you will know exactly what it is.
But it does take a commitment.
Yep, exactly.
Another reason why people don't leverage this strategy is the lack of deal flow. Mm-hmm. They can't get a deal or they don't have enough deals.
Yep.
Well, if all you know is buying properties listed by a real estate agent, then you're not going to have enough cash flow. You're not going to have enough deal flow. I'm sorry.
Right. Mm-hmm.
And how do you do it? You got to create a pipeline. The more sources of deals you have, the more deals you can do creatively.
Yep.
Like that's the key. Mm-hmm. Getting more deals, sending your pipeline, and putting your system together. Like
for example, Mike, I've done the first 9 deals that I did. Like granted, these are houses for the most part, but I did one that is referred by a mortgage broker. I did another one that they responded to my direct mail. I got another one that responded to my signs, bandit signs, right? So the point is, you cannot just have like real estate agent as your sources of deals. You got to have multiple sources, right? Especially off-market deals. So talk about that, Mike.
Yeah, I mean, you got to have multiple pipelines. Like we will talk about multiple ways of finding deals at the end of this training, but like even me, like I don't think I was a bandit sign guy. Like that was my thing. But I did have a lot of brokers.
Right.
I did have a lot of off-market people that was sending me deals.
Wholesalers.
Wholesalers.
Right.
Oh, wholesalers were my key. Like I had like 3 wholesalers in my pipeline, which I kind of label as brokers, but they always fed me deals and I didn't have to go looking for anything.
Yep.
The other one, as in the Bible says, my people perish for lack of knowledge. Like it's the knowledge. The knowledge changes everything. The knowledge is the light. The knowledge will show the pathway to your success. And if you contain that knowledge, the good news, look.
We will solve that right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, by
Like-
giving you the knowledge on the 5 techniques on how to buy.
We're going to
properties
share with
number
you
down, yeah.
right now. Look, if you didn't know me, look, I've been investing since 1999, lost it all in 2002, 2003, but recovered from that and restarted my career using no money down techniques and bad credit. And look, I now own 1,500 apartment units, 40 houses, a warehouse, and parcels of land, and even doing developments. Guys, whether you want to go there or not, what we're going to share with you is give you the knowledge and the capacity so that you can get out there and start owning a few properties on your own and get to the $1 million net value. That's what it's all about. This is about changing the course, direction of your life. All right.
Now, on the other hand, just to introduce myself, my name is Wendy Guzman. My expertise is raising money, and I partnered with Mike on these 3 hotels, because of the private investors that I was able to line up. That's one of the techniques that we will discuss tonight is how do you get OPM, other people's money.
That's right. So here's one of the techniques that you can use, no money down, seller financing. Like this has been the key. Matter of fact,
This is like the true no money down. Like this is so amazing, guys. But go ahead, Mike.
no, this is like this Carlton building is a 41 unit Bond Hill, and we were just managing it. Owner didn't want to renovate, didn't want to put in more money, didn't want the headache.
Didn't want to increase the rent.
Yeah, I was like, look, all you gotta do is increase the rent, and we can sell it, and you can create amazing value. Didn't want to go through that. Didn't want to lose any tenants. So what we did was take over the property, manage the cash flow. Any money we need for renovations, we did it out with the cash flow. In 15 months, sold it for $2.1 million.
Man.
And we gave the buyer credit and netted $627,000.
Who wants that? Put in the chat, who wants to make $627,000 in 15 months on a deal that you acquired with 0 out of pocket?
Let's
And
go.
no investors, right?
No investors.
No investors, no out of pocket. I mean, literally, Mike just used his charm and words.
I mean, well, it
Think
wasn't
about
even that. It was just, no, honestly, I can't even say it was charm. We solved the problem.
Yeah. I was just being facetious.
Yeah, no, I
but
mean, but no, I mean, we got to work together, but it's a trust factor. But, I mean, guys, that was like, what, 40 grand a month?
Over those 15 months.
Yeah.
Yeah.
30 grand. Jeez.
I mean, with nothing out of pocket. Not even investors, guys. That's crazy.
yeah. So those are the techniques. Like you can, there are people out here, and a lot of times there are people under duress. There are people
here,
going through
actually.
changes. There's multiple ways on how you guys can get this. Like no money down, seller financing, and how to find them. I mean, look for apartment buildings that need repairs, rents below the market value, or they got a rated on 1 star and got tons of complaints. Google is your friend. What is that?
You can check apartments.com, for
There you
example. Like when you're browsing apartments, if you're a renter, you're browsing apartments to rent, right? Well, you're an investor, you can still browse apartments.com, and you can look for apartment buildings wherein, as Mike said, let's say the going rate for a 2-bedroom is $1,000 in your
Mhm.
market, and then all of a sudden you saw this apartment building where the rent is only 700. That's an opportunity. And then when you check the the reviews, the tenants are complaining of bed bugs,
Absolutely. Yeah.
cockroaches, and so on. And then when you look at the picture in apartments.com, they don't even want to show the picture of the inside. It's only one picture of the outside. That's a good sign, guys. You got like those, like perfect trifecta of like, I mean, think about it. If the tenants hate the property, the landlord doesn't have the money to fix it, because most likely it looks like crap inside because they don't even have the picture inside, for example, right?
Oh, wow.
And then, the rents are below market. I mean, the only reason why you will rent your property, for the most part, not all the time, right? But one of the reasons is you just want to get it filled with a tenant, correct, Mike?
Yeah.
So if the units look like crap and you don't have the money to update it, guess what? You will rent below market, right? But the problem with that is now you also get the below market tenants, meaning the not so quality tenants, and then the problem becomes worse, right? So if you have a property like that, I mean, guess what? The seller, when you bring up the possibility that you want to buy that property, the seller will be like, oh, where have you been all my life? Are you crazy for wanting my property? Guess what? You can buy that deal with no money down, right? Because the seller will be like, oh, you're going to take over my headache?
Absolutely.
Go ahead.
Hey, I always like to say, paying the profit.
Yep.
And doing that helped, like even these code violations.
Yeah.
I've had
love that.
numerous deals where people just handed over the keys for the code violation, like because they didn't want it anymore.
Yep.
Like look, all you have to do, if you want to find a no money down seller financing, provide a service. How are you going to help somebody? And if you go in that contingency, like that thought process, how can I solve someone's problem? When you begin to solve other people's problems, that's when you'll start making a lot of money.
Yep. So that's just technique number one, guys. I mean,
That was just
literally,
one. We finished.
Yeah, I
We
know.
didn't even talk
like,
about anything else.
yeah, like this technique alone is worth the price of, well, which you guys, got in for free, obviously. But this is already worth it. We can literally end it right here,
Not
and
like
this alone will change
All
your
right,
life.
guys, that's the wrap.
No, seriously, like I got a building that we bought at the tax auction. We don't really have any money in it, and I don't want to be bothered with it. I just want somebody to take it over. But I can enjoy the cash flow. See, there's other things. It's not always that it's a problem property. It could be not necessarily a problem, but a headache property. But they don't really want to deal with it. But they in it low enough they can do a lease option land contract.
Right.
Right.
Yep.
By the way, that's how I bought my first 2-family land contract, owner financing.
That's
so
true. Yeah.
guys. So here's another technique: the mortgage assumptions. Now it's a little different from the subject to, because the subject to, you're not necessarily dealing with the bank, right? But you're assuming the debt, but not legally. Whereas mortgage assumption, you literally go sign for the debt.
Yep.
And you switching that person out. But the great thing is, a lot of times you don't have to bring any money.
Yeah.
If you're not bringing any down payment money. When you do a mortgage assumption, you're not bringing down payment money unless it's a straight sale. For example, there's let's just say it's $1 million building, and you're going to assume the debt because it has this great rate. Well, you're still going to have to bring some cash to the table. But if you got somebody that's trying to exit, someone that's trying to fire sale, anything like that,
or a pre-foreclosure like this, right, Mike?
Yeah, pre-foreclosure. Then guess what? You just assume the debt. In this deal, the
8.3 million.
Yeah, it was 8.3 million. We
Is the
assumed
debt.
they waived the assumption fee,
Which is usually 1%.
Yep, and then we raised cash. Like let's put it like this: we raised just shy of $1 million. If we were to purchase this outright, based on what we did, so 8.3, 30%. That's
2.4.
That's 2
2.5 million
We were to
at the
bring
time.
2.4, 2.5 million plus additional money for the burn.
Right.
So we could have brought $3 million to the table.
Yeah, or 3.5. Yep.
Right?
Exactly.
Versus you assumed it and you bring less cash down. Like we assumed it and brought what? Less than just a little more, 10%.
Yeah,
brought 10% to the table.
Well, 12%.
12.
Yeah,
Okay.
962 divided by 8.3 million. Yep, roughly.
So
But
I
still,
mean,
that's way less than the usual 30% for
30%.
hotels.
there you go.
Yeah.
So, oh, you want to take this one?
Yeah. So how do you find these deals, right? So with hotels, the key are knowing hotel operators,
That's
right? Because the hotel operators, they know the hotel lenders who need help,
Yep.
right? How do you find the hotel operators then? One way is through LinkedIn.
Yep.
Another way is attending hotel investing seminars or conferences.
Absolutely.
Yeah, like the
Conferences,
Hunters Hotel Investing.
Hunters,
Conference.
Alice. There's another one in Phoenix, Arizona. Like those are the amazing conferences that every person in real estate and hotels, brokerage, all of them are at these conferences, ready to share their deals, ready to find a buyer that's willing and able to make something happen. And so these like hotels, especially, but even apartments.
You can attend
You
conferences
attend
too.
conferences and they're selling deals left and right.
Mm.
So just you got to expand and put yourself out there and willing to discuss what you're willing to, share what you're looking for.
Yeah, expand your network because your network is your net worth, as Mike would
right.
say, right? So if your network is limited, guess what? Your net worth is limited too. All right. So credit technique number 3. Let me take this one.
Go for it, brother.
Credits and prorations. In Mike's book, From Broke to Millions, the idea here, which again this is described in Mike's book in detail, the idea is to combine different sources of cash, right? Because here's the thing, guys, you can negotiate a second mortgage, right? You can negotiate a buyer's credit in exchange for a higher price. So for example, in Mike's first $1 million deal, you sold it and the buyer negotiated a buyer's credit.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah, in fact, even the Carlton deal, correct, also has a buyer's credit.
Yes.
So the way it works, for example, let's say you're buying a property for $1 million. The typical down payment to make simple math is let's say $250,000, right? But you can ask the seller, hey, give me $100,000 buyer's credit. But the way we'll do it is we'll increase the price 1.1 million, right? What's 20% of that? Let's just use 20%. It's the math simple, okay?
Yep.
So 20% of 1.1 is 220,000, right? So normally you would have brought, without doing that, you would have brought like 200,000 for a $1 million property, right? 20% of 1 million is 200,000. But then now you tell the seller, give me $100,000 credit, okay? But we increase the price to 1.1 so that the seller gets the same thing.
That's right.
Right? So 1.1 is 20%, that's 220,000, but you're deducting 100,000 credit at closing. So now the money you need to bring is 120,000 instead of 200,000. So you save yourself 80,000 just by one technique. Buyer's credit at closing in exchange for a higher price.
Absolutely.
You can also, deferred maintenance credit. And if you close early in the month, you get the prorated rents. So for example, if the gross rents is 10,000 per month, then guess what? You close to the first of the month, you get, let's say, 9,900 in credit versus you close at the end of the month where you got 0 credit.
I mean, look, yeah. So so like even today, I did a closing this morning.
Oh, you did?
Like
Okay.
we sold our 12 units, 1.5 million. We bought it for 650 all in for about 850, and like we gave them a repair credit of 20,000.
That's the deferred maintenance credit.
Right. We gave them a prorated rent credit, which was like 6,700 because we closed in the middle of the month. And then they ended up getting 17,000 back in deposits. So, I mean, what, 20, 37? I mean, they got like $45,000 back at closing.
Nice.
I mean, these are real things. Like, and we do it all the time. I
Yeah.
mean, but those are standard.
Yep. So here's the example in more detail, right? This is so cool. So again, you negotiated 10%, right? The seller agrees, for a 2.2 million, that to increase the price from 2 million to 2.2 million. Originally, you would have needed 400,000,
Right.
but let's say you're able to negotiate
Here we
a
go. Here we go.
200,000 buyer's credit.
Here come the mad scientist.
Right.
Here he goes.
So now
Break that math down, man. Do the math is this math is mathing.
Right. So instead of 400,000, right, it's 440 less the 200,000 buyer's credit. Now you only needed 240,000.
That was slick.
Okay. Now I see a question in the chat. But like, is there like a maximum credit you can give? Well, for houses, residential, there is. I think like you can only give like a 3.5% credit or 5% credit. But for commercial properties, I mean, I don't think there's a
No,
limit.
I mean it really depends on your bank and what you disclose, right? So you just disclose. But I mean, but we've seen large credits come back.
Yeah,
I mean-
like your first $1 million deal. I remember you sold it for 1.695 million, and then you gave like 160,000.
Yeah,
I mean, that's 10%.
I mean they got
Right?
they got most of their money back for
Yep.
the down payment.
Yep, exactly. So with commercial properties, I mean, you're not necessarily like limited in negotiating a buyer's credit, which is crazy, right? So now go ahead, that's
Yeah.
just one, and then you
There's
have the
one, and
first-
like here, what if you found some deferred maintenance around $100,000? Like we're dealing with bigger numbers. So you needed $240,000 for your down payment, almost $250,000, and then you got a deferred maintenance credit of $100,000. So at closing, they're giving you not only $240,000 but another $100,000.
right.
So now you only got to bring $140,000 cash to the table for your closing.
Yep, and it gets even better,
Oh,
right?
it can't. It's got to stop.
You gotta stop.
Like,
So let's say you're able to negotiate a second mortgage with a seller, like a private mortgage,
yeah,
right?
that's when they like keeping their money in the deal.
Right. Or you can structure this as a joint venture as well, So let's say you're able to tell the seller, look, I know you like the property. Why don't you chip in, like an extra 100,000 and you get a second mortgage, or you're still part of the deal, right? So now you're down to 40,000 for a $2 million property. Think about that. So
Yep. So you close the deal the first of the month. We already shared some of the things that are happening. But look, you close the first of the month, you get the prorated rents. Well, because you close the first of the month, you're gonna get a tire rent. You're gonna get the tire prorated rents. You're gonna get the security deposits. Now you collected in this example, it was $20,000 for deposits and prorated rents. You're collecting $40,000 at closing.
yep. And since-
Additional. And we already did the deferred credit,
the second mortgage,
the second
the
mortgage,
buyer's credit.
the buyer's credit. You only needed, and the deferred credit, you only needed another 40,000. We just took that away.
with the prorations, and then now you do the deal with zero down. So
That's crazy.
Hey, we just got a question in the chat from Shane. He just asked, I've heard really great things about your mastermind. Where do I go to sign up?
Oh, later on, put your phone number in the chat. So I'm glad you mentioned that. Put your phone number in the chat. And Joe, Alicia, or Terry, are they here now?
Yeah, they're in.
Awesome. Yeah. So put your number in the chat. Again, it's private. Only Mike's staff can see that, right? So again, going back to this. So to summarize, you have 440,000 down needed. Well, normally for a $2 million deal, you would need 400,000, right? But because you have 200,000 in buyer's credit, you have 100,000 in deferred maintenance credit, you have 100,000 second mortgage, you have prorated rent of 20,000, you have 20,000 security deposit. Guess what? You can do a $2 million deal with zero cash out of pocket.
Man, that's awesome.
Think about that, right? So, but it's not over yet. We have, technique number 4. Go ahead, Mike.
No money down technique number 4. money from multiple sources. Now, look, we talked about having a pipeline of sources to find deals. Well, you need to have a multiple sources pipeline for cash. But look, here's multiple places where you can get it. You can take life insurance policies. Literally, there's cash
You've
value.
done that, yeah.
I've done numerous deals where I use my life insurance policy to fund my deal.
Yeah.
Now, some of you are really using this now. It's the HELOC loan, right?
Yeah.
Home equity line
Yep.
of credit.
I did that too.
Those are great places to get it. Now, there's not really a bad thing about using HELOCs. It's just, it's the rates will change, right? Over a period of time. Like you may be doing a deal at 5% and then rates jump up to 7 or 8. Okay. So, but again, you control the money. Those are deals that you can do. You fund it, you sell it, or you refinance it once you do all the renovations.
Yep.
Credit cards. Oh my gosh. I funded my first business with credit card. So, guys, it doesn't take a lot. Just being resourceful. The credit cards, you can do a cash. Matter of fact, I know a lot of people, they didn't have this when I first started, but guys, you can get your business or your real estate career started with the credit card. I mean, I did, but my point is, for some of you who don't have good credit, there's programs out here that teach you how to fix your credit, right? How to build your business credit, tell you what credit cards to go after, and then get you a cash advance. Or you don't even have to use a cash advance. Maybe you just buy all the material
with a credit card,
with a
business
credit card. And then they do all the work, and then you get reimbursed for them loan. There's multiple ways of doing that. Real estate agents commission. Oh my God, that was one of the first.
Oh, you did that, yeah.
I did that when I first started. I was buying a 2-4 family side to side, total of 8 units, and this guy, he just really wanted to help me succeed, and I was being creative because I didn't have any money, and I think at the time to buy it, I needed like $5,000 down between 2-4 families, which was crazy.
Yeah. Those were the good old days.
Lie. I don't even remember what I want to say. I probably paid $40,000 a 4 family, so total of $80,000. I got a loan. I think I only had to bring like 10%, right? So $8,000. I closed on the first of the month, like we talked about.
So you got some.
So I got all the deposits.
Right.
Well, back then they didn't give you credit; they gave you cash at closing.
Oh, really?
Like the person brought all the checks and all the deposits.
Those were the good old days.
Yeah, and so they brought like, I don't know, almost. Yeah, well, because when I closed, it had brought all the money. So it was all the money I needed. And to do that, to close, I still had to have money to close it. My agent lent me his commission, and it was a swap at closing. He gave me money at closing. I paid for it. Before the end of closing, I handed him all those checks that I got.
Nice.
I just signed them over.
Nice. There you go.
Those are the easy days. You can borrow against your 401k. Guys, now, there's some laws that you have to abide by, but like there's a ERISA law, and depending on who holds your 401k, you can borrow up to 50% or 50,000 from your 401k and pay yourself back.
Yep.
With interest.
Same thing with the cash value life insurance.
Yeah.
Yep.
You can convert your IRA to a self-directed IRA.
Meaning your IRA can buy the property for you. Yeah.
Yeah, like there's so many in peer-to-peer lending, like Prosper and Lending Club. There's so many different ways, guys, that you can succeed. There's no reason why you should be sitting on the bench, not going after raising capital.
Yep. So the one word that describes this technique is hustle. Yeah. You gotta hustle, but the point is that you can get the cash from multiple sources, right?
Yeah, no, the hustle is everything. And the fifth and final one we're going to share today, there's still multiple, like I still have tons of the techniques, but there's OPM, other people's money. Look, we raised $4 million from private investors to acquire this 91 unit building, a complex in a very nice part of Cincinnati. It was
Yeah.
a Merit Class A area.
Yeah, remember this deal got oversubscribed. Like investors are like, wait, it's gone already.
Yeah.
Like it got like
I didn't
funded in like 3 days, something
yeah,
crazy.
I didn't even want to sell this one, but
Yeah.
but my point is like there's so many techniques, and as you grow, as you build experience, you use those other techniques, and then once you start getting comfortable, then you use other people's money. You learn all the different strategies.
Mhm.
Like, so my point is there's no reason why you can't succeed in real estate. There's no reason why you can't get money to do your first deal, whether it's a single family or 4 family or 100 unit.
Yeah, yeah. So like we have a lot of successful students whom we taught how to raise private capital, like Tim Vest, just using LinkedIn, got 11 investors. George Fry using Facebook got 2 investors with 9 million. Madeline Pay got an investor on Twitter, which we don't do a lot on Twitter.
Yeah. I'm terrible on
100,000
Twitter.
simply because that's what she asked for,
Yeah.
right? So the point, guys, is you can attract investors through social media. Again, the $12 million that I've raised, all of this came from social media. Think about that, right? So I'm able to become part of these 3 deals because of investors that we've met through social media, and we're able to attract them, right? So, and not only that, like back in January, we did the OPM intensive, and in a live seminar, I challenge you, have you attended a live seminar where you actually raised millions of dollars in private capital?
Absolutely crazy. It was
Yeah.
so crazy.
Yep.
Yeah, all by doing some simple techniques.
Yeah. So we shared with them the script, and then they read the script like, word for word. I told them, don't change it, don't modify it, say it exactly as it is. There's a human psychology behind it. But the bottom line, we tabulated everyone here, how much capital they've lined up. And in just 30 minutes, guys, they were able to line up $26.8 million in 30 minutes
Are you what?
in a live seminar. It's all
All this
recorded.
using some basic techniques
Using a simple technique, right?
and a script.
using their phone and the script that we
They
provide.
they didn't go outside of the room.
Mm-hmm.
They didn't go to well, they were at a convention, but they didn't go to another seminar. They used what they had. My point is, you lack nothing. Whatever that you need, you have it right there. You just need to learn how to utilize your references.
You need the right knowledge. That's the
That's
point.
right.
So here's the thing, guys. The good old boys network of commercial real estate investors, right? They don't want you to know these techniques.
No, they don't.
But these techniques are happening every single day.
Every day.
Yep. So, but they kind of want to keep it secret, right? But now is the time to master these techniques, right? Why, Mike?
Well, I mean, there's massive wave of foreclosures happening with commercial real estate. I mean, there's hotel mortgages that'll be billions will be foreclosed on this. I mean,
Yeah.
guys, a tsunami. And the reason I say that because you have not only there, like there's apartments as well, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Like there's Blackstone. And look, why? Here, interest rates changed. You got to realize people were relaxing at 2%, 5%. Now
Now it's
interest rates are
8%.
6, 7, 8%, and they got to refinance to that.
Yeah.
Like multifamily mortgages are maturing. There'll be a lot of workouts here in 2024.
Yep. So it's an exciting time to be buying big deals, actually.
Absolutely.
I haven't I was looking forward to the day because back in 2020 to 2022, like it's tough to find deals.
Absolutely.
Like it's really tough because people are overpaying for them. But now guess what? Like I wish I showed the data here, but according to the latest rep report, Mike, in Dallas, Texas, right now,
Oh yeah.
9.26% of mortgages,
9.26.
yeah, are have a DSCR of less than 1.
Wait a minute. Hold on.
Debt service coverage ratio of less than 1.
Explain that to
Whoa.
everybody so they understand that, because I don't think they're catching what you're throwing.
Yeah, so debt service coverage ratio is basically the total money, right? Per every dollar of debt that you owe is the total money that you bring in. that's your NOI.
So okay, let's go. Let's deal with it. So a basic debt coverage ratio is 1.25.
Yeah, that's what the banks want to see.
All right.
That's
So
that's a healthy debt service coverage ratio.
So the 1 stands for you're bringing 100%, and the 0.25 means you're making 25% more of the annual debt service.
Right, exactly. So let's say the number is 1.25. The first number, that's what you give to the bank, right? That's the 1. You give that to the bank. The 25 cents, that's what you pocket after after you pay the bank. But in Dallas right now, almost 10%, almost 1 out of 10 mortgages for multifamily are upside down, meaning they cannot even make the debt service. They can't even, so it's less than 1. Think about that. Guess what will happen to some of those mortgages?
Default.
They will default.
They got to restructure. They got to bring another buyer. They're going to have to pay down the debt. They're going to have to do something.
Yep.
And they're going to have to get creative. So my point is, if they have to pay down debt, they got to raise more capital, and most likely, I don't know. We don't know.
Yeah.
They're going to have to JV with somebody.
Yep.
And that could be you.
Yep. You can JV with them and get those deals with no money down, right? Here's an example, $1 billion in multifamily home loans in foreclosure, right? So lots of opportunities, right? But maybe you're saying, well, it's easy for you to say, but you and Mike can do it, but I can't. Well, we have helped ordinary people just like you, for example, become hotel owners. People like Devon Reeves.
Yes. I mean, Devon literally went from the front desk to the top desk, worked her way up the ladder. She literally left the hotel front desk and started hotel ownership. Not only that, she's partnered with me on 3 deals. One of the youngest Black females with a branded hotel, and now has her own platform to help people raise capital to acquire hotels and apartments.
Not only that, but we've helped Johannes Orpelainen, right? He's a university professor. When he joined our mastermind apprenticeship program, he told us his goal is to just buy 1 hotel in 12 months, right? Well, he bought 3 in 6 months.
Yeah, he went bananas.
My mind was blown away. This guy really went after it, right? So think about that, okay? Now,
and not only that, the community where he bought at, they wanted him to do more.
That's right. Now, if you want Mike to coach you, so you too can become a hotel owner, again, the chat is private. You can put your phone number in the chat, and either Joe, Alicia, or Terry will call you. Maybe even Brianna. We have a new setter, or Clint. But any of our guys will call you about being a hotel owner. Now, if you're saying, you want to be an apartment owner, we have done that too.
That's right.
We have helped ordinary people just like you become apartment owners. People like Keisha Kennedy.
Yes.
She went from 3 doors.
That's crazy.
That she bought over 10 years to 600 doors in just 2 years.
And did it all from Kuwait.
Yes, that's the fascinating part about that. I mean, she made raising capital like her superpower.
That's right.
And she's able to do that from out of the country. And this is what Keisha said.
My name is Keisha Kennedy, and I live in Kuwait. However, I am investing in the States, and it all started out by joining Mike's program, his mastermind program, Big Deal Hacking. And I joined in April 2021 of last year, and it has truly been a blessing. He has taught me so many gems, and now I'm invested in over 500 units. You heard that correct. 500 units all the way from Kuwait in the state, both actively and passively as a limited partner and a general partner. So if you are hesitant or thinking about joining the program, I highly recommend, feel free to reach out to me as well. And remember, like Mike says, you are one big deal away.
And Tim Vest is an introvert, right?
Yeah.
And in fact, we are doing a deal with Tim Vest as we speak in South Carolina. But from the time that he joined the mastermind to today, which is 3 years now. I mean, he already owns or part of 1,500 apartment units. That's crazy.
He went serious.
This guy was buying 1 apartment building every quarter.
Yes.
Yeah, he is so aggressive. And this is what Tim said.
Hey, Mike, and happy Thanksgiving. I just wanted to send out a little message to you, man, and say on this Thanksgiving, this guy is extremely grateful for everything you've done for me over the last couple of years. Um, I've learned a ton in your mastermind. I really enjoy being a coach. I've learned from the other coaches like Devon and John. Um, but, the biggest thing is, man, like when I started this, fix and flips, single family houses. That was kind of my thing. And raising capital from other people was just a non starter. And I had no idea how I was going to get out of my W 2 on the current path I was on. I just knew I was miserable in my job. Joining your mastermind, having the conversations with you, especially that one day in the car when you were like, man, you got this. You can absolutely do this. Man, those have been game changers for me. 2 years later, here I am, over 1,000 units. I've raised millions. Never thought that was possible, and man, I'm just really grateful. I really appreciate everything you've done for me. Looking forward to the future with you, and happy Thanksgiving, Mike. Much appreciated.
So, if you want Mike to coach you, so you can become an apartment owner, again, put your phone number in the chat, and Joe, Alicia, Terry, Brianna, or Clint will call you.
Somebody will reach out to you.
Yep. Okay.
So if you're sick and tired of being poor, passing over opportunities repeatedly, look, if you want to go and buy your first big deal, whether it's an apartment, hotel, just put your phone number in the chat. Joe, Alicia, Terry will call you and we'll get you set up so you can get your deal. All right. Now I made you a promise when you stay to the end. So here we go. We will talk to you about how to have multiple ways of finding deals at the end of this training. Right? So one way you can join our big deal maker mastermind and learn multiple ways to find and analyze apartment and hotels deals.
Right. In fact, related to that, we are doing the big deal workshop, and the big deal maker mastermind gets to attend for free in that workshop in June, Mike.
Yes,
in Tampa. Yep.
That's right.
And in there, we will show you everything that we know how to find and analyze apartments and hotel deals.
Amazing.
Like Tim Vest, who is now one of our coaches of our mastermind because he's our most successful student. I mean, he will show you guys how he analyzed these deals as well, in addition to what you will learn from me and Mike.
That's right.
We also have Tommy Bayer in there
Tommy,
as well,
yep.
and he will show you
all about the hotels,
like the advanced techniques, the detailed underwriting, detailed pro forma of hotels, right?
And two, you can join our network of big deal makers to get apartment and hotel deals all over the country. Like we have people in different continents. We have people traveling from Canada to hang out and do deals in the US. So look,
right.
Just put your number in the chat. And if you want to get your big deal, whatever it is, for some of you, I know, like we said, limited beliefs. Maybe it's a 4-family for you. Maybe it's a 10 unit. Maybe it's 100. Maybe it's 1,000. The whole point is we're here for you to help you get to the next level.
Yeah, and I just want to emphasize this point, Mike. Like some of you in California, like how many people are in California or like high price markets? Put, answer in the chat if you're in California right now.
Okay? Portland, somewhere West Coast.
West Coast, like expensive markets, right? And some of you are saying, oh, there's no deals in California that will cash flow. Well, if you have a network of big deal makers all over the country, right, then now you can have access potentially to deals all over the country. You're not limited to just California. You're not limited to just your state, right? So again, put your phone number in the chat, and Joe, Alicia, Terry, or Brianna or Clint will call you, all right? So Danny Gold, this is so amazing, Mike. Danny Gold, one of the members of the mastermind, right? He is an absolute newbie with hotels, and yet when he basically name drop your name, Mike, and he positioned himself as someone who is part of a private equity group. We have done, like multiple millions of dollars worth of hotels and have $100 million development project. He was able to get off-market deals from brokers. Think about that, right? So, I mean, do you guys realize how difficult it is to get an off-market deal? And then on top of that, he is a newbie. I mean, this is supposed to not happen, right?
No, Danny's been putting the grind in, man.
Yep.
He took massive action.
Yep, exactly. But he leveraged on Mike. He leveraged on the network that we have to get off-market hotel deals, right? So, and as we promised, right, what's the fastest way to expand your belief and expand your reality at the end of this training? Well, the answer is the same. Join the Big Deal Maker Mastermind to get Mike and 4 other successful big deal makers to coach you.
That's right.
And think about it. When you're surrounded by people that think big, you know, that are $1 million capital raisers or they're $1 million, you know, big deal makers, guess what will happen?
What
Right?
will happen?
I mean, your mind will expand too.
Wow.
Your belief will expand too, right? So now you will realize, oh, if that guy who is not that smart can do it, I can do it too. Okay.
That's right.
You know, so and I mean, really, for example, like me personally, when I started hanging around with Mike, you know, starting 5 years ago, like my net worth shot up,
That's right.
you know. So like
So all it's
before
about
I thought
changing
$1
your
million
network.
is big, but really it's not. When I hang around with Mike, it's like $1 million is like, oh, 5 years ago, it's like, oh, how can I do that? But now it's like, oh, that's not that difficult at all, right? So your belief and will expand, right? And as I said, when you join our network, right, it will expand your mindset and your reality. You know, so put your phone number in the chat, guys. You know, we have tons of successful mastermind members. You know, Tim Vest, Robert Musso, Alex Yan, who did 800 units, you know, Keisha Kennedy, 600 units, and so on and so forth. Teresa Arvison retired from her job as an anesthesiologist, right? Her husband, you know, did over 600 units as well. So the question is, why can't you be next?
That's right.
If they can do it, so can you. So if you're interested in changing your life and making 2024 the year you finally buy an apartment building or hotel, put your phone number in the chat, and Joe, Alicia, Terry, or Brianna, or Clint will call you. Have a
Absolutely.
conversation. And if it is a good fit, great. We will show you the next step. If not, then that's great too, right? Again, why can't you be next? So with that,
As always, guys, God bless you. God keep you. May God bless you beyond your belief, but not your capacity. And remember, you're one big deal.